Hello, I want to talk to you about murder. Well, just about. I'm continuing on a pet subject of Bible teaching for good living. That's good living, which is good, enjoyable, satisfying. And for the present, I'm interested in some of what Jesus has to say to the people of his day about how to live, because he promised that he'd come to give life in all its fullness, and I want some of that. Now, I've learnt, I'm getting on almost 6 decades, and I've learnt that living the Jesus way is the best way for me to live. It's not easy, neither is it boring. And I've still got a long way to go to fully understand what his best way is for me to live. But I've stumbled upon these words of Jesus from Matthew's Gospel because recent videos have been from Matthew's Gospel. So listen to Matthew 5, verse 21 and a bit of 22. You've heard that it was said to the people long ago, you shall not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you that anyone who's angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Hopefully I've managed to put those words up on the screen. Jesus, of course, he knows the Ten Commandments. He knows all the other commandments from the oldest scriptures. And here he recalls the one that all of us know, you shall not murder. Now, some people think that murder is a terrible thing, and I do agree with them. But what's particularly shocking is that some people evidently do not think about murder in this way. Some people seem happy to murder. Now, whenever you watch this particular YouTube video of mine, there will have been a shooting recently in the news. That's just a small scale murder compared to the genocides that sometimes take place and the wars that seem to be continuous around the world. For me, murder is wrong because God says so in the commandments of long ago, and Jesus backs it up here in Matthew chapter 5. If you don't take the Bible as an authority and you make up your own moral standards, it's still very likely that you believe murder to be wrong. But some people don't think that way. Their moral code is either very evil or simply without a good foundation, and ultimately I believe that their house will come tumbling down. Anyway, the old commandments and Jesus tell us murder is wrong, and I agree with them. But here in Matthew, Jesus goes much further, and this might just push our understanding of what's right and wrong. Jesus says that anyone who gets angry with a brother or sister, and I'm sure he doesn't just mean siblings, anyone who gets angry is wrong. And he doesn't seem to make any difference in the consequences of murder and of being angry. For Jesus, both are wrong. And for lots of people, that's too much to handle. People, well, some of them think that murder's wrong because they've never murdered and they never will. But when it comes to getting angry, well, they put that down to a common human failing. It can't really be wrong as such. It doesn't demand a punishment, surely. It's just a shortcoming. Everyone gets angry. Have you heard that argument? Perhaps you've made it yourself. I think probably I have. It's not the view, it's not the teaching of Jesus. For Jesus, murder is wrong and being angry with someone is wrong. It seems then that it's almost impossible for us not to be wrong. For who amongst us has never got angry towards another person and thought or said some really hurtful things? And I think that's partly the point that Jesus is making, that without his help, we're in trouble. We're always guilty of being wrong. We may not be murderers, but we still fall short of his highest moral standards. One example being that we get unfairly angry with other people. So how does that help us live a full, enjoyable, satisfying life? That's what I came here for. Look, I promise you, I have not committed murder, but I have been angry. And like other sins, in no way is it life enhancing. In fact, being angry towards another seems to do more damage to oneself than to those we're angry with, because we get bitter, and with that we get twisted. We're not pleasant then to be around. We might even dislike ourselves. An angry person is an ugly person. Now, just earlier in the same chapter, in Matthew chapter 5, Jesus is quoted as saying this: "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." What a contrast to anger, to be a peacemaker. And according to Jesus, what a blessing peacemakers receive. They will be called children of God. Now, I really don't mind if this video is seen by murderers. I just doubt that it will do. But is there anyone watching who gets angry and who would rather be a peacemaker? And as with any matter of Christian growth, of becoming more like Jesus and the person he wants us to be, becoming a person who gets more out of life by living the Jesus way, what we have to do is we have to come to Jesus for help. We can't do it on our own. We're just not capable. We must make our own effort, but we need his help. We have his teaching, we have his lived example. That's a help. And we have his presence. His Holy Spirit lives with us when we welcome him into our lives. Changing to grow into a Christ-like person starts with us admitting that we need his help and asking for it. Make a simple prayer and don't be absent from his word, the Bible. Enjoy the peace of being a peacemaker and avoid being lumbered with the burden that murderers surely carry. Good living is for the peacemakers, not for the angry. Thank you for watching me today. If you haven't already, I gently remind you to subscribe. That will help you catch future videos. Feel free to leave a comment. That encourages me, and it does also if you can press something that says you like the video. God bless.